Hello, hello. Welcome to our PRI inspired mat class for anybody, or if you are especially postpartum, as this is in the postpartum support category. Hopefully if you are postpartum or you've had to work just real deeply on certain connections and pelvic alignment, you've done my first 3 more PRI based videos that are a lot slower, based on just breathing in certain positions, etc. Now we actually get to go through more of what feels like a mat class, still incorporating those PRI concepts. So there will still be some things that we do that are very asymmetrical. There are also going to be some things we do where we're just really rounding, focusing on our breathing. So if at any point in time you feel pain, please stop what you're doing, either try to reset your body or just move on for today, and you can come back and try it again. One thing I will note, because I am also postpartum right now, I have my notebook here with me, which is full of notes of what the class is going to be. If you see me looking at it, it's not because I'm not prepared, it's just because I'm dealing with postpartum mom brain. So forgive me ahead of time if that is the case, but I'm gonna try really hard not to look at it. So let's go ahead and get started. You will need a ball or a rolled up towel for this class as well. Let's just stand with our feet hip width apart for a second. Just kind of shake it out and breathe gently as you notice your body. See if you feel like you're slouching, or if you feel like you're overarching and locking out your joints. Is there stiffness anywhere? Do you feel your weight on one side more than another at all? Just observe. And once you've had that second, open your eyes again, take that mental note, and we're actually going to make our way down to the floor. All of this class is going to be on the floor today. So we're going to start on our backs. Feet hip width apart. Feet all the way together, knees all the way together, elbows at your sides with your hands pointing up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. From here, I want you to take a full breath in through your nose. Now use your exhale out through your mouth as you gently push your heels down to the floor in order to tuck your tailbone and feel how that flattens the back into the mat. You're going to want to hold this position throughout this next movement. So we're going to do butterfly breathing here. I want you to inhale as you allow your knees and hands to separate, almost like they're wings. And then exhale as you close your knees and hands back up. That's all we're doing to start. Inhale, knees and hands out, keeping the back body flat. Exhale as you pull everything in towards your center. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 more. Last one. Good. From here, separate your feet about hip width apart. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. This one will sound familiar. We're going to go for some thoracic spine extension here. So again, push your heels down into the floor in order to tuck your tailbone, which flattens your back into your mat. Palms are now facing your knees. Arms are straight up and slightly reaching out through the shoulder blades. Inhale as the arms slightly travel back towards the floor. Exhale, hold your arms in position. Feel your rib cage gently pull down towards your hips as you get all that air out of your chest. Again, inhale the arms back. Still digging the heels down into the floor. Full breath out through your mouth. Maintaining that flat back position, feeling the abdominals. Again, inhale the arms back. Exhale the air out. Hold those arms still. One more breath here. If your back is starting to come off the floor, Do not let the arms keep traveling backwards. Release the arms up. Shake it out for a second. We're going to do that one more time. So again, arms up to the ceiling, palms facing your knees. Push your heels down into the mat in order to tuck the tailbone and flatten out your back body. Inhale the arms back towards your head. Pause as you fully exhale, connecting through your center. Inhale the arms back. Exhale fully. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Arms travel back. Full breath out. Pause. 2, 3, and release. From here, I'm going to grab the ball, place it between my knees. You can use your towel roll if that's what you have. Hands by your sides. Feet still hip width apart. Now we're going to do a little bit of a bridge series here. So to start with, just simply squeeze the ball. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, dig your heels into the floor in order to tuck your tailbone, and then slowly start to peel your spine off the mat, one vertebrae at a time, lifting those hips. Pause at the top. Take a full breath in. Now exhale, get all that air out of your chest. Place one vertebrae at a time back onto your mat. Keep squeezing that ball. Again, breathe it in. Exhale, push down through the heels, peel up off the mat. Pause at the top, take a breath in. Exhale all the air out. One more just like that. Might be feeling some inner thigh work there. Pause at the top with a breath. Exhale fully as you round down. Now we're going to add on to that, and we're going to give our left side a little more love and attention. So take a breath in. Exhale. Slowly round it up. You're not going as high as you can physically with your hips. You're keeping that tailbone tucked under. Now, I want you to shift your left knee back, your right knee forwards, and then gently push your left knee into the ball or the towel, and pause here, breathing. As you hold, you hopefully are feeling your left inner thigh, left hamstring, maybe left outer hip. As you exhale, you're keeping the ribs connected towards the spine, the hips, rounding through the low back. Take one more breath here. Exhale, keep that left hip shift as you slowly roll down. Release everything. Woo! Hello, muscles. All right, stick with that shift if that felt challenging enough. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, follow along with what we're going to do next. Take a breath in. Exhale, take the heels down. We're going to tuck your tailbone, peel up off of the mat. Pause. Shift that left knee back, right knee forwards. Push that left knee slightly into your ball or towel. Hold here if that's challenging. If you want more of a challenge, gently press your hands into the floor. Keep your chest open. Just barely lift that right foot off the floor. Hold and breathe. Hello, left leg. One more breath. And place the right foot down. Slowly lower through your spine, hips. Release and shake it out. All right, let's just keep that ball or towel between your knees. Now, with your mat, you're going to take your fingers, I'm going to scoot forward here, and you want to pinch the mat between your fingers and your thumb, and you're going to lift that mat up over your head. So there should be a little bit of give to where you can kind of actually cover some surface area on your head. Squeeze that towel or ball gently, push your heels into the floor, give yourself a little bit of that tailbone tuck. We're going to do some crunches here. And we're using the mat as a sling for our head, so we don't overwork the neck and we try to isolate the abdominals more. Elbows are pointing forward towards the knees. Take a full breath in. Now as you exhale, get all of that air out. Pull your elbows down towards your hips. Let your head relax into the mat. Breathe into the back of your rib cage here. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down. Same thing, breathe it in. Exhale out. Elbows pulled down towards the hips. Inhale here. Breathing into the back body. Exhale as you lower. Make sure you're keeping that pelvic tuck. Pushing the heels down to the floor. Again. Exhaling up. Full breath. Into the back of the mat. Exhale as you lower. One more time. This time we're going to hold. Breathe it in. Exhale. Hold. Inhale into the mat. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Slowly lower down and release. Kind of stretch out the arms, stretch out the abdominals. If you want a windshield wiper the legs, that's more than fine. Gently going back and forth. And from here, we're going to roll onto our left side. Get rid of the ball. We're going to stay on our left side for some asymmetrical leg lift work, which is a pelvic, we'll call it pelvic restoration exercise. So, in this position, our left leg is bent, our right leg is straight out to the side. We're thinking of keeping our rib cage back towards our spine and cinching the left rib and left hip towards one another, which gives us a little bit of a lift. So I should be able to fit my hand under my left side. Make sure your neck is relaxed. From here, keeping that left ab wall connected, take a breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, gently lift that right leg up, just maybe the tiniest bit above the rest of your body. Inhale as the leg lowers down. Again, exhale to lift it up. Inhale to lower. Again, keeping this connection through your left ab wall. If you're feeling the front of your right hip, bring that leg back slightly. Neck is relaxed. Two more here. Exhale, lift the leg and hold. Now we're going to do small circles towards the back. 8, 7, 6. Hello, right outer hip. Left ab wall is still slightly lifting, rib towards hip. And reverse that circle, going forwards. But it's not really kicking to the front. I'm pretty much staying in line with my body as I circle. 2, 1, and relax that leg down. Woo! Right outer hip. Give it a little love tap. Now for the left leg. Bring your right leg in front of the left so you can extend the left leg out. You're still thinking of keeping that left hip and rib towards one another with a little bit of a lift. Right foot comes flat onto the floor, and then you're rotating your right knee out to the side. Now, when you do that, don't let your hip roll back. Keep your hips stacked as that knee goes out, reaching that right arch towards the floor. So you might feel the outer hip again on the right. Now, again, keeping that left side connected, we're going to exhale and lift the left leg straight up. Inhale to lower it down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. So as I'm doing this with that left leg, I'm hoping to feel my left inner thigh. I'm keeping my right knee off the side so my right outer hip is working. I'm using that exhale to stay connected through my left ab wall. And I'm trying to just allow my shoulders to relax. If all of this is connected for your center and your pelvis, there's no reason for those shoulders or your neck to work. 2 more. Last breath. And slowly release it down. Very nice. All right. Coming into our modified plank here to isolate our obliques and our transverse abdominis muscle. All right. So we're going to hold this position and then we'll stretch it out a little bit. Bring that left elbow underneath, right underneath your shoulder, legs and hips at 90 degrees. You guys know this one. I want you to think of pulling your ribs back slightly, rounding through your back body, tucking the tailbone. Left shoulder blades connecting down and back onto the rib cage. Knees are pushing down into the mat. Use your exhale to lift your hips. I'm pressing down through my elbow, lifting up through my rib cage. Now take that top leg, that right leg, and slightly shift it forwards. So it's in front of your left knee. Bring your right arm up and hold as you breathe. Inhaling into your right side, exhaling all that air out. Staying slightly rounded through your back. One more breath. And lower those hips down. Nice job. From here, come all the way down again. Extend your arm out in front of you. And you're going to extend that right leg. Now, you're going to reach forward through that right leg. So it's literally shifting forwards again. Bring your right arm in front of you, palm facing up towards the ceiling. Keep that right hip shift. Open up that right arm here, and now you're just going to breathe. Breathing up into that right rib cage. Getting all that air out. Again, inhale. Expanding that rib cage. One more. And bring it in, bring it up, and we're switching sides. Woo, just got a nice little crack there in my back. That was nice. That tells me I am decompressing my spine. All right, elbow underneath the shoulder. Knees and hips at 90 degrees, going into our side plank the other way, slightly different variation at the hips. So I'm pulling my shoulder blade down, pushing down through my elbow in order to lift my rib cage, slightly rounding through my back body, knees press into the floor, lifting the hips, arm comes up. Make sure this left knee is actually shifted back. So it should look like the right knee is closer to the floor than the left. We breathe in, and then we exhale everything out. Inhale, exhale out. One more breath. Slowly lower those hips. From here, come all the way down to the floor again. A little different bit of a stretch this time. Extend that left leg forward, but instead of reaching it forward, you're actually now going to pull it back. So that left hip is going to be slightly either behind your right hip or stacked directly on top. You're going to reach that left arm forward and you're holding here. So as you inhale, think of expanding into the back of your left shoulder blade. And then just exhale and feel like you're retracting your left rib back towards your spine. If you want to tuck that right arm under your head, you can. Inhale. Exhale. Pulling that left rib back. One more breath. Inhale into the left shoulder blade. Reach through that arm. Exhale. Pull the left rib cage back towards your spine. And totally release. And relax. Come up out of that position. Let's come onto your hands and knees. All right. From here, going into a little bit of breath work and then some ab work. So, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Take a breath in through your nose. As you exhale, think of lifting your rib cage, which rounds your back for you. So I'm not overly rounding and just pushing down and arching my back as much as I can. I'm lifting my rib cage as much as I can, and that's what's rounding me. Now we're just going to hold here and breathe for 3 to 4 breaths. As you inhale, press down through your hands and think of lifting up your spine towards the ceiling, and then just simply exhale all the air out, keeping the front of the rib cage up towards the spine. Make sure you're not shifting off of your wrist. Inhale, breathing up as you push down. Exhale. One more. Full breath out. Getting all of that air out. And sitting back for a second into a child's pose. You can kind of roll the wrists out if you need to. I've definitely got the mom wrist thing going on from holding baby girl. Whew. All right, oh, more pops. It's lovely. All right, adding on, if that felt like a really big stretch and you don't want to do this next ab exercise, I encourage you, just do it again. If you want a little more ab, follow along with me. Take a breath in through your nose. Use your exhale to lift the rib cage, which rounds your back body. From and slightly tuck the tailbone. From here, tuck your toes under. Take a full breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, barely hover those knees off of the mat. Hold here for 3 breaths. Keep the back round. One more breath. Lower the knees and sit all the way back. Whew. All right, we're gonna do that one more time. If you did the stretch twice, maybe try the abs now. If you did the ab with me last time, we're gonna slightly adjust it and give your left side a little more TLC. So from here, we take a breath in, we exhale to lift the rib cage in order to round the back. Now, you're going to slightly crunch towards your left side. So I'm just bringing my left hip and rib towards each other, which slightly extends my right rib cage. Tuck the toes under, take an inhale. Now exhale, hover those knees. Breathe it in here. One more breath. Expand through the right rib. Exhale through the left side. Lower the knees down. Woo, and relax. If you felt that through your shoulders and your arms more than anything else, maybe just go back to the straight breathing or the straight ab work. If you felt it through your back at all, that means you're probably losing that roundedness and not really getting into your deep abs. So again, just take it a step back. All right, from here, coming into a seated position, a little more ab work. My feet are about hip width apart. My arms or my hands are connected to the back of my thighs, and I'm feeling my sits bones underneath me. So I'm not focused on like hyper reaching out through the crown of my head. I'm not worried about that. I'm more so concerned with relaxing into my pelvis and just feeling relaxed and stacked in this seated position. From here, take a breath in through your nose, expanding the ribs out and back. Now exhale. As you start to tuck your tailbone under, use your hands for support on the back of your thighs and pause, only about a quarter of the way down. Take a full breath in here. Fill up the side and back of your rib cage. Now as you exhale, think of exhaling up through your pubic bone, connecting your rib cage towards your hips. Find that sits bone area. Sit up, sit back and down into the pelvis. Inhale. Exhale back. Using the arms for support, pushing your heels down. Take a breath in. Exhale up. One more. Thinking pubic bone up towards the navel. Inhale. Now exhale up through that pubic bone. Roll up and over that imaginary ball. Let's add a little bit of arms. If that felt pretty good, if that was challenging, stick with it. Take a full breath in. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone. Retract the rib cage back towards your spine. Pause. Bring your arms forward and out. If you feel the front of your hips, go back to supporting yourself. From here, inhale. As you rotate and wrap, my hips aren't moving, my rib cage is what's rotating and wrapping. And now we go back to center. Again, other way. And back to center. Play with your breath here. You could inhale to rotate or exhale. and then vice versa as you come back to center. Do what gives you more support to where you don't feel your low back or the front of your hips overworking. Last one. Center, back of the thighs with those arms. Exhale yourself all the way up. Ooh, and just sink over your legs for a second. Take 2 breaths here, filling up your upper back with air between those shoulder blades. All right, we are almost done. From here, let's stretch those legs out in front of us. But again, it shouldn't feel like you're trying to sit way tall. I do want you to feel your sits bones, but I want you to feel them while you're relaxed down into your pelvis. If you're in a really good position where you're actually supporting yourself and your pelvic floor is able to engage properly, your knees should feel relaxed and the front of your hips shouldn't feel like they're grabbing. But if you feel like you're wanting to lock out your knees or you're feeling grabbed in the front of your hips, you're probably sitting too tall or too far forward. So just sit down into your pelvis. Now, we're gonna take that, and I'm just mimicking my legs here with my arms. We're gonna take that left leg and shift it back from the hip. So it's like we're getting a bit closer connection from our left hip and rib, and we might feel a little bit of that left inner thigh engaged. Now, bring your hands in front of you, crisscross applesauce. From here, keeping that left hip back, we're gonna inhale. As we rotate, exhale, back to center. Keep the left hip shift, go to the right. Inhale, you won't go very far, exhale, center. Again. Inhale. Breathing into that left rib cage. Again, sitting down into the pelvis so you're not overworking any of those false stabilizing muscles. One more. Exhale through the mouth. And release. Very good. All right. We got one more little plank exercise. I just gave your wrist a break. And then we're going to end with a stretch. So, coming back onto our hands and knees. All right, from here, this is kind of like a downward dog. We've done this in videos before. We're going to start with this one, and then we're going to go to a different plank exercise. So, hands and knees. We take a breath in, we exhale and lift the rib cage up. From here, tuck your toes under and straighten your knees from this position, keeping your back rounded. Walk your feet slightly forward so you can drive your heels down into the floor. Stay round through your back. Pull the shoulder blades down and away from your ears and breathe. Inhale through your nose, tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. Full breath out through your mouth. Make sure that exhale lasts longer than your breath in. One more breath. And lower those knees. Relax off the wrists for a second. If you felt a lot of work for your shoulders there, pull those shoulder blades down. Maybe don't move on to the next step with me. Do that one again. That exercise really should feel like a big stretch through the back of your legs, especially in those calves. But you should also feel your abdominals working, and you should feel expansion through your rib cage. If it just feels like a lot of work and tension through your shoulders, stick with doing that exercise a few times and really focus on that exhalation and that inhale so you get those abdominals on. Otherwise, we're moving on, doing one round of this little plank exercise. So, taking a full breath in, use your exhale to lift your rib cage, slightly rounding your back. Shift your weight slightly forwards, and from here, you're gonna step back just a little bit with your legs down in order to straighten. But notice my hips are still lifted, much more than a traditional plank. From here, I'm going to exhale, my legs in, and then inhale, my legs back out. Keep the rib cage lifted. Inhale to step it out. Now hold your plank, exhale. Now reverse your breath. Inhale the knees in. Exhale. The legs out. Inhale it in. Exhale it out. One more. Exhale to finish. Lower the knees. And last time, sit back into a child's pose. Take a few breaths here into the back and bottom of your pelvis, like you're trying to open the bottom of your hips. All right, ending with a little mermaid style stretch. So we're sitting with our feet, other way. I was like, that doesn't feel right. Feet to the left, and we're gonna stay in this position. So left arm is gonna come to the outside of our foot, and we're thinking of connecting our left hip and rib cage towards one another. And then we're bringing that right hand behind our head and thinking of lifting up and out through our right rib cage. Just hold here for 2 breaths. Expanding. As you exhale, you're connecting. Now from here, let's add a little movement. So I want you to take a breath in. As you exhale, rotate that right elbow towards your left knee. Inhale. Extend through that right side. Exhale. Rotate down. 2 more. Last breath. And sitting up. Now we're gonna do something a little different for the left side. Right arm can come down out to the right side of the body. Left arm is going to come forwards. You're still thinking of connecting that left rib and hip, so you can do a little side bend. From here though, we're gonna take a breath in as you reach forward and out through your left arm and shoulder, and then as you exhale, think of pulling that left rib cage back. Again, inhale, reach. Fill up the left shoulder blade with air. Exhale. Pull that left rib cage back. Again. Exhale. One more. And I'm still feeling a stretch through my right side. Exhale, left rib cage back. And totally relax. All right, let's come back to standing, just like we started. Take a second to kind of just shake it out. Close your eyes, and now observe your body. Hopefully you just feel lighter, more relaxed, decompressed, whatever the case may be. And just notice that even though we really did move unequal from left to right, you might feel more balanced in some ways. Or for some of you, you might feel a little imbalanced, and just know that that's okay if you feel that, because we took you out of positions that you're typically always in that cause a lot of asymmetry in the first place. And we put you into the exact opposite positions using opposite muscle chains, opposite bony positioning, and that in and of itself is going to help drive a little bit more reciprocation and symmetry through the body for things like walking or running. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it felt challenging and like a release all in one, and I'll see you in our next class.